listening to the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast. I'm Sarah.
I'm Erin.
I'm Bree.
And I'm Rachel.
What episode is this?
This is a wild card. It's a wild card.
Okay, today's a wild card.
At any given time, it's a wild. Mine
I
are
looked at your
wild
notes
cards.
and I was like, I don't know what this is. I know what
all
you're
of it.
talking about, but
True. It's okay. When in doubt, it's a wild card.
today's a wild
It's
card
fine.
episode by Bree.
It's fine. So,
What are we doing, Bree?
since day one of this podcast, all of 4 years ago, almost.
Almost.
Oh, I'm gonna throw
Wild.
Wow. I knew that with my beat of like taking on Lutheran culture, like I knew from day one, I was like, this is a topic that I want to talk about on one of my episodes. And so since day one, dill pickle roll-ups are just the hors d'oeuvre of my dreams. And so today I would like to deliver an ode to dill pickle roll-ups, aka Lutheran Sushi, aka Luth Sush.
Yes.
Really hard to say. Because it's a wild card, I had thought about this. Dill pickle roll-ups are, I feel when I think about it, like are more of like a cultural icon than anything else. So like I feel like something like a dill pickle roll-up is almost not good enough, is not the right terminology, but I think it's sort of below like an iron ladle challenge or a recipe card. And so between that and we're sort of entering this season of like summer picnics and backyard barbecues and bridal showers and the whole nine, like now's as good a time as any to talk about dill pickle roll-ups. I personally feel like.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, I think any time is the right time to talk about this. But ain't no better time than now, I feel like. So I'm going to talk about how a dill pickle roll-up is made, knowing full disclosure, I've never made one in my life. So
Okay.
if any of you, if the three of you have made them or a listener out there has made them and I am completely explaining what these are and how they're made, is absolutely like fact check me, please. Like I don't want to misinform the masses. This is too important of a topic in this age of misinformation. I don't want to be leading people down the wrong path. So the dill pickle roll-up really is something that you've probably seen on the table at a Lutheran potluck, or like I said, like a picnic or some sort of event that's sort of like this finger food. And you'll see them on a platter as like these round green things wrapped in lunch meat. And so the anatomy of a dill pickle roll-up is basically a slice of dill pickle wrapped in cream cheese, which is then wrapped in like a lunch meat of some kind. And usually it's like ham or salami or some cold cut of some kind. So this is how I believe they are made. And this is like one of those this might be one of those things where like, you know how in preschool they're like, how do you cook a Thanksgiving turkey? And kids are like, you put it in the oven for 5 minutes at 900 degrees. And so that's maybe what my attempt is going to be. So the way I see it is you sort of lay out a layer of your lunch meat, your ham, your salami, whatever. You then take a knife and you spread a layer of cream cheese over the lunch meat layer. You tracking with me still? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you're going to take your pickle. It's going to be a whole dill pickle, and you're going to lay it down on the edge of your cold cut / cream cheese layer. And then from there, you're going to wrap, hence you're going to roll, hence the roll up situation. The pickle, you're going to wrap the lunch meat cream cheese layer around the pickle until you reach the end of that row, and then you slice it. And that's how I feel like those are made. Can anybody like correct me there in our midst at this very moment? Have any of you done this before?
Nope.
I feel like the only thing that I have experienced differently I've had that type, but also occasionally I feel like there's a tortilla on the outside.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be the only other nuance that I think I've experienced in the Luth realm. The variation.
The Luth
I might be tempted, and I'm sort of browsing recipes as we talk. I might be tempted because I hate wrestling with cream cheese. To sort of mix in like some sour cream or some ranch or something just to thin it down and make it more spreadable. Otherwise, I feel like that would take a little more. I'd tear my lunch meat.
Yeah.
I don't trust myself to handle it.
And truthfully, more elbow grease than is really warranted.
My one question is, do you think you could actually make it with salami? I think I've only ever had these with ham, but in my household, salami is way more popular, even though I myself rarely eat it. So and I'm wondering if you could make it with salami because you would. The shape is wrong. Like ham is usually rectangular,
right? So I think if you're looking at it's not like the thick, like small, like summer sausage salami type thing, or like pepperoni nuggets or whatever. If you might
like hard salami.
If you got like a thin sliced hard salami, I think you could absolutely lay that out with edge over edge. You probably would have to use more than one slice. I'm thinking maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5. And then lay your pickle out and just roll. And at some point you may have, because you're dealing with a circular shape, you may have some ends poking out that are just pickle. But I mean, you could just chop those off, and that's a bonus snack to have while you're making these.
Now, Bree, do you have any opinion on the proper diameter of pickle that should be used in this particular?
Are we talking gherkins or Moby Dills?
Okay. See, I didn't realize it was going to get this philosophical, but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I think in terms of thickness, obviously, I think the thicker the better. I would say probably 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. I'm not very good at measuring length in my brain. Okay. But I'm thinking like, so you know how you get not the hamburger slice pickles that you get that are like on the like shelf stable, but like if you go to like the refrigerated pickle section and you see those Clausen like dill chips, like that kind of thickness. Like that's what I'm thinking is the best. Now, if you want to talk about like ratios, I think you want to lead with the dill pickle. Like I feel like that's the flavor that you want to lead. And then the lunch meat sort of shores up the flavor. And I feel like the cream cheese, it's an important element. It's absolutely true. But I mean, that's really the glue that holds it all together, ultimately, to me, anyway. And I don't know if people have used like sweet pickles or like bread and butter. Like, absolutely not.
Bread and butter pickles.
Absolutely not.
So you would
okay.
It would ruin
not
the flavor,
in this application.
Yeah.
Not in this application.
Okay. It's not the same. Okay.
So you could you do it with sweet pickles or no?
You probably could, but why would you?
Okay, fair.
When I was a child, I did not like dill pickles. So
oh my gosh, dill pickles.
I've never eaten these. I'm not sure I've ever seen them.
What?
I don't know. Maybe because they were dill pickles, I just ignored them. I did not like dill pickles when I was a kid.
Okay, so let's talk about this then, because I don't want to operate under the assumption that you all even know what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh.
And the reason that I don't know why I have a fascination with this. All I know is it's delicious, but also I have a very specific core childhood memory.
Oh, let's hear it.
And it's not like a significant memory. I just remember being at my church in Collinsville, Good Shepherd Lutheran, and it was very early on in our time there. And as I've spoken about before, I was a member of the Episcopalian Church before we moved to the Midwest. And we lived on the East Coast before we moved here and became Lutheran. And I specifically remember seeing a plate of the dill pickle roll-ups, aka Lutheran Sushi, at a potluck or like a soup supper or something. And I was just like in awe. It was like the most exotic food I had ever seen in my life. And like, who doesn't love a dill pickle roll? But like as a kid, like even then I was like, I loved pickles. Like they were my jam. And so to see this sort of concoction in front of me of pickles in this like fancy roll up situation, I was just like, I'm going to be okay here. Like, and so that just like, that moment in time is like frozen in my brain folds. And so every time I see a dill pickle roll up on a potluck table, I think of that time. So I wanted to put it to you all while we're talking about our own personal experiences. Have you made them? Have you eaten them? Do you even know what I'm talking about when it comes to Lutheran sushi?
I don't know that I've ever had an experience with them. And I'm literally texting my mom right now, like, did this exist at my church when I was a kid? And I just ignored it because I have no idea. I can't eat any of these ingredients now, but if I could, I would totally eat them.
I, like, when you said you were going to do this episode, I knew immediately what you're talking about. I cannot say that they are a favorite potluck food, and I can't point to exactly one instance of recognizing them on the potluck table like you can, but it's like, oh, those things. Yeah, of course, I've had those. I've never made them. I'm sure I've eaten them, but, you know, at a potluck, there's so much food.
Oh, yes.
And my plate is just like, if there's room for one dill pickle roll-up, a.k.a. Luth Sush. Why can't I say that?
It's so hard to say. It is so hard to say.
It's going to have to make room among all the green bean casseroles and all the ham and all the rolls and the jello salads and the other things, you know? So it's like, it's just part of the scenery for me.
Right, right.
I don't notice if it's there or not there, but if it is there, I'm like, oh yeah, those. They're pretty good. I like them.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, I think of it as definitely in the appetizer category, not a side. That's how I personally would classify them. But I have had them and I love them. And I'm going to be honest, I spent the last couple of minutes sort of just trying to imagine an alternative.
Oh.
And here it's...
Do tell.
I think it's too extreme.
No,
for
do it.
most, but
I want to hear
it. So it still retains the pickle core,
Good.
which is its essence, obviously.
True story.
But then I tried to imagine what would be even more German Midwest than cream cheese. And I came up with Braunschweiger.
Oh my goodness.
Braunschweiger as the spread that would go then, I think, onto like a tortilla, as I said, because I don't think
It's
you
like a
put
German
Braunschweiger with
flatbread.
cold
German-
cuts would be, I think, weird.
Yeah, Braunschweiger with ham would be strange.
Yeah, that would be weird. But I
Ham
think
on ham.
pickle and Braunschweiger, that does go well
that is
together.
so good.
So I think so. Anyway, yeah, I got a little distracted.
Only
and
I'd have
daydreamed there
to
for a
try
little
sweet
bit.
pickles with that because the sweet and
agree.
savory of the sweet with the
Agreed.
Braunschweiger.
A little pickle relish with Braunschweiger is delicious. So maybe that would be the way to use a sweet pickle.
Fladenbrot.
Fladenbrot.
Flammkuchen
What
is
is
a
happening?
German flatbread dough.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Flammkuchen.
So, Flammkuchen.
I think it's just kuchen. There's no umlaut.
Oh, okay. Kuchen.
Kuchen.
Flammkuchen.
That's really funny.
I dare someone to do this.
Yeah.
I will laugh so hard. And be jealous also.
And I'm thinking, even though I've never made these, I'm kind of inspired now because we're at a point, it's a really weird point in my family's personal history where I believe everybody likes dill pickles.
Wow.
Everybody likes cream cheese. And I think if I did it with salami, everyone would eat salami. And there are very few foods that all four of my children love. I'm sure you moms out there can relate. Like, I have two that like potatoes and two that don't like potatoes. I have two different ones that like pasta. You know, it's like I can't win, but this might actually win.
Dill pickle roll-ups uniting families.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they all think sushi's cool too. So there you go.
There you go. Luth Sush.
There is a variety that I found on Google just to see, and it's called pickles in a blanket. And it's basically just single pieces of salami with a dollop of cream cheese and a pickle thrown on top. And then it's just like with the toothpick in the middle.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That would be easier.
The very fast.
Oh my gosh! Heck yeah!
That's party food right there.
That's a party.
That's another.
Oh, right.
So these are more bite-sized pieces. I feel.
So those are like the coins, but there are mods. And actually,
this is like a full pickle wrapped in a full piece of salami.
It came full circle for me.
Pickle
So
in a blanket.
I bit the bullet and I joined TikTok, but only because I wanted to see more food videos and like snacks and stuff. And I'm very fascinated with snack culture on TikTok. And so as I'm scrolling through yesterday, they haven't dumped me in some weird algorithm yet, which is great. Like dill pickle roll-ups are becoming a thing, and like stuff like that, like pickles in a blanket, that's becoming like the Gen Z TikTok snack.
What?
It's like,
so crazy.
I was
That's
like,
gonna
what
be
even
true
is
for,
life
like,
right now?
We are on
13
trend.
days.
True. But it's going to be 13 glorious
Well,
days.
and the truth is, I mean, aside from all the salt, which is crazy, there's a lot of good food in there.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it's
no carbs.
no carbs,
Friendly.
no sugar, unless there's sugar in your cold cuts. And pickles, if you look on the side of a dill pickle jar, you'll see pickles are calorie free.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. I didn't know there was any food that fell into that category, but every time I look at a dill pickle jar, I'm like, wow, I could.
5 calories in a serving, they can call it calorie free.
Okay, so between 0 and 5 calories per dill pickle.
Just the law.
Just don't do what I did once in a diet and eat a whole lot of them at once because that's a lot of salt.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I do love a good pickle. Oh, man.
Bree, you're gonna love this. I'm Googling recipes now, and I'm seeing several recipes for pickle wrap dip.
What?
Yes.
Meta. We should
Then
have
you take you take your cream cheese and you season it with like ranch seasoning or something, and then you mix in chopped pickles. Although, why would you not just get dill pickle relish? I don't know. Chopping all those
maybe they
pickles.
don't realize it exists.
Maybe.
A lot
All
of
right.
people don't.
Well, I would do dill pickle relish and then a couple of variations, chopped ham or just like corned beef.
Ooh.
That would also be good. And then just serve with crackers as a
We
dip.
need to have a Lutheran sushi themed party.
Because
You got
everything is better as a dip.
Like it. Oh, man. Add that to the bucket list.
There's pinwheels too in this category where it's chopped up. It might be
it's a whole thing.
The pickles are chopped up.
No.
When I think of
don't know.
tortilla wrap, that's what is like the pinwheel
Yeah,
sandwiches.
that's probably
the
what these
tortilla
are.
wraps.
Sure.
Yeah.
There are some on here that have the tortilla on the outside of the actual pickle
I feel like
roll-up, too.
unironically, actually, if I can be serious for 1 second, like there's so much more to this food cultural like phenomenon than I'm even realizing right now as we're looking at stuff on the internet.
I'm seeing pickle egg rolls.
Wow.
Pickles and cream cheese and bacon in an egg roll wrapper and
wonton
fried.
It's like a crab rangoon.
Heck
With
yeah, brother.
I know that Lutheran cuisine has a reputation of being bland and boring, but this is not bland and boring, people.
Not today.
No.
That is not today. So good. Praise God for delicious recipes and pickles and
Creative
culinary
minds.
geniuses.
What happens if
For
you
sure.
battered these and fried them?
That's fried pickles. Like
No,
absolutely.
like a deep fried Luth sushi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
That needs to be like Minnesota State Fair
I
fare.
bet it is.
Yes.
Like Midwest, get on it. Someone who works on the Midway, get on that
So it's
right
about
now.
fried pickles,
Sush
but-
tempura is what it is.
Yes.
Making up foods.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I've had deep fried butter.
goodness.
I don't think that I would turn down deep fried Luth sushi. Like it just that sounds awesome actually. Dang it. Well, it's been a real journey being able to talk about this cultural phenomenon with you all today. It's a real just juggernaut of cultural presence here.
I love it.
Yes.
I wanted to close out today with an actual ode, a poem that I wrote.
Yes,
Please.
About dill pickle roll-ups, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I did writing it. So I'm just going to read it for you now. This is called an ode to the dill pickle roll-up. Oh, dill pickle roll-up, so white and pink and green. Your placement at the potluck is the best I've ever seen. When on the plate arrayed, just like a work of art, the heavens open, angels sing, the hors d'oeuvre of my heart. A pickle hugged by lunch meat, a delicious coin of yum, and when I eat you piece by piece, there's music in my tum. That is not a reference to farts. The briny crunch of pickle and salty ham divine, glued as one with cream cheese spread. I vow to make you mine. This is the part where my brain started thinking about making a reference to the Holy Trinity, but the part of my brain where better judgment exists caught up to me.
Like, well done, better part of brain judgment thing in Brie.
Sometimes it works sometimes, but don't think I didn't think of it.
Uh-huh.
Delicious pickle roll up. The saying here is true. Delicious dill pickle roll up. I love you. Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
that was amazing.
Thank you. It's my love. That's what I do for the people and things I love. That's all I got.
I don't think you could top that. So better quit now while we're all just sort of in the glow of your poetic genius.
Right now, for sure. Just basking.
That was beautiful, Brie. And now I'm very hungry.
Yes.
I need some dill pickle roll-up thing in my life right now. Ladies, we want to know, have you had dill pickle roll-ups? Does your church have them? Have you made a variety? Have you deep fried a dill pickle roll-up?
Oh gosh, please let us know.
We need to know. And if you have a recipe or alternative things you do, we need to know these things. Tell us in our Facebook group, the Lutheran Ladies Lounge, or on our Instagram page at Lutheran Ladies Lounge. You can also sign up for our e-newsletter in the show notes. In the show notes for this episode, well, my brain just totally blanked. In the show notes for this episode. Or you can send an email to lutheranladies@kfuo.org. You can find all of our podcasts at kfuo.org/Lutheran Ladies Lounge, or on your favorite podcasting app, or on the KFUO radio app. You're listening to the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast. I'm Sarah.
I'm Erin.
I'm about to go hard on some dill pickle roll-ups.
And I'm right behind you in the potluck line, Brie.
Yes! Not if I eat them all first!
Views and opinions expressed on the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast may not represent the official position of the management or ownership of KFUO Radio, the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. The Lutheran Ladies Lounge is produced by KFUO Radio and available at kfuo.org or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a review for us too. If you love the Lutheran Ladies Lounge podcast, consider financially supporting our producer, KFUO Radio, so we can keep doing what we do. Find out how at kfuo.org/give.